Hello, good morning, good afternoon, as the case may be. My name is Akua Serwaa Ampong, and I was part of the first cohort of the Young Diplomats of Ghana. And today I'm here to share with you my experience when I was part of the YDG as a delegate and afterwards. My how I got recruited was through Facebook. I had seen a friend had liked the YDG page on Facebook, and I was like, oh, let me see what the page is about. And I liked the page, and eventually they announced that they were recruiting delegates to form part of the first cohort of the Young Diplomats of Ghana. And I went through the process. It was an act of faith, really, because I didn't know what the group was. I didn't know their track record. I didn't have an idea what my experience would be. But I must say that it has been the best experience of my life, the best 1 year of my life, you know. So, as part of the Young Diplomats programs, we had the opportunity to meet a wide range of people, from diplomats to CEOs to respectable people in their own fields. And it's something that money cannot buy. When the highlight of my cohort was really when we met the French ambassador at his residence, and we had dinner, or was it lunch, and it was amazing because it's an opportunity not a lot of people would have to meet the French ambassador in person, in private, to have good conversations on diplomacy and the French foreign policy towards Ghana and Africa as a whole. So I had a wonderful experience with them. Sometimes they would invite you for programs that were not really strictly a YDG program, but with organizations such as the Institute of Economic Affairs at the time. Mrs. Jane Mensah was the chairperson. We had the opportunity to meet with well-established policymakers, lawmakers, and leaders in their own right. So YDG has been a wonderful experience, and if you are thinking of applying, I would highly recommend that you join the program. Even if you're not part of the delegates or members, you join the programs that is advertised. We call it forums periodically, and you will not regret it. After the cohort, I stayed on as an alumni. I still got invited for a number of programs, and it has shaped the way I think. I leverage on my experience with YDG to join the Young Diplomats Forum, which is an international organization that does really what the YDG does in Ghana, but on an international scale. We had the opportunity to go to Brussels, which is really the diplomatic headquarters of the world, and we went to the NATO headquarters, the EU headquarters, the European Parliament, and quite a number of interesting places. But I did not find myself wanting because of my firm grounding and training with the Young Diplomats of Ghana. So you are in for the experience of your life, but you can only make good use of the time with YDG if you participate fully in debates, in symposiums, in programs, and when you are invited, you participate fully. If you are not ready to make that sacrifice to learn, I don't think YDG is for you. If you intend to have a very good experience and learn fully from YDG, I would highly recommend that you participate in every program that is organized by the YDG, whether it's debates. I had a number of debates at the British Council, the French Alliance Française, and a couple of other places. And most of the time, I emerged as the best debater or oralist, which is quite exciting. But that is it. And after school, I think 2 years down the line, after being part of the YDG, I've gained admission into the University of Oxford to study a master's in diplomatic studies, and that would not have been possible without my foundation in YDG. Because in your CV, you're writing that you've done this, you've done that with the YDG, and went on to do it with the Young Diplomats Forum on international level. Obviously, you go beyond the academics. You've shown that you are really interested in diplomacy. So I'd like to use this opportunity to thank all the people, the organizers of the Young Diplomats of Ghana, Seth, Mr. Yanka, and every other person that is part of the organization. I know it's not been easy dealing with all of us, but thank you so much, and God bless you for everything you've done for us. And my advice to the new cohort is that immerse fully in the program. You cannot benefit from it if you are doing it half and half. I used to come from Kumasi every single time they invited me to come for the program. My other colleagues were in Accra, some of them were close by, but I had to come from Kumasi to Accra at my own expense because I knew what I wanted. So if you really intend to benefit fully from the program, you have to participate fully, immense in it, and you would be in for the experience of your lifetime.